Today on Flick Knows, we're going to talk about escalation clauses, when to use them, how to use them, what do they mean, then we'll jump into the quick stats. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, thanks so much for checking in for another episode of Flick Knows here, and today's going to be a great one. We're going to check in on the quick stats real quick and then talk about escalation clauses, right? Escalation clauses are something that we are seeing a lot in the marketplace right now. I think it's competitive just about anywhere in the country at this moment, and so even if you are not looking here in Summit County, but you're looking in your local market, an escalation clause could be something that works well for you. Let's start out real quick with the quick stats. Quick stats, new listings on the market at the moment is just 10 new listings in the last 7 days. Likely most of them came on and then went pending over the weekend because we do have 49 pending properties and only one price reduced, which is not terribly surprising in the last 7 days. Active listings, this is one that I've been really just trying to track really closely just because it's giving us a good idea of whether we're satisfying the demand or not. And March of 21, so the end of last month, we were at 692 active listings. April of 20, so a year ago, let's all remember where we were a year ago. We were at 894 active listings, which was still down over the 5-year average, but 894 active listings. And then today, we are at 720 active listings. We've been hovering right around that number for about the last 5 or 6 weeks, kind of up and down right around that 720 number. So basically what we can take from that is that as many properties are coming on the market are also going off of the market. Let's jump into escalation clauses now, and I'd love to hear if anybody has any specific questions about this. But when do we use escalation clauses? How do we use them? And how do they work? So, first of all, escalation clauses, love them, hate them. They can be a challenge. They can be a bit of a pain in the butt. So you want to be judicious when you decide to use an escalation clause, because it's not right for every single situation. But the situation we were in over this weekend was that there ended up being 7 offers on the property. Escalation clause really seemed appropriate in that situation. So when do we use them? We use them in a competitive situation. That's one where it's like highest and best offer by X time. Not all sellers, not all selling agents will accept an escalation clause. They'll just say, hey, no escalation clauses, bring us your highest and best offer, and we'll go from there. But we do use them in competitive situations. They can be great on the buyer side of things because you can say, hey, we'll offer X amount on that property and then escalate it up by a certain amount up to a cap, or some people are leaving it uncapped. And so I think that's what we can do. How do we use them? Well, let's say the property's on the market at $500,000. You know that there's going to be 5 offers on the property at a minimum. We're going to write the cleanest contract that we certainly can. And that can be waiving contingencies, that can be paying for things that typically the seller is paying for, and now the buyer is offering to pay for those things. Sometimes can make the offer a little bit more attractive. But then, the biggest thing is always price, right? What's the price? What's the best price on the property? And so you can put in an escalation clause that says, hey, we're going to offer $525 on this property, or whatever your starting number is, and then escalate that up to a certain number. And that way you can be the highest bid in that situation. So, again, in certain situations it can really work out. Some people, we can really tailor it to the deal And I'm not going to go through all of those tweaks that we can make, but we can say that the escalation would be higher if it were competing against a cash offer. We can say that, it can be a $2,500 escalation. We can say that it's a $10,000 escalation. And again, these are all very situationally dependent. We can put a cap on it. We can leave the cap off of it so that we can definitely win on price and kind of go from there. What are the downsides? What are the things we can run into? Well, if you're a financed offer and you're running against a cash offer, you're only going to be X amount above, let's say $2,500 above a cash offer, and that might just not be enough to win it over the cash offer. It might be just better to bring a high number. So I think we kind of covered there. How do we use them? How they work? And then, some of the situations that we run in against with an escalation clause. It can be a very good tool in certain situations. Might not want to use it on every situation. But nonetheless, that's where it is. If you have any questions about escalation clauses, we've seen them on both sides of the deals this year a lot here in contracts. We've seen them written different ways. So we've got great experience with them if you do have a question. So teamflick@summitliving.com. We are here for you, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.